because in history we are used to impeaching governors, not the Deputy President, Mr. Speaker, sir. On this process that has ongoing, Mr. Speaker, although as I begin, I want to wish my brother and friend Reject Gachagua a quick recovery after that unfortunate incident. Mr. Speaker, the process largely has gone on well until the adherence of Article 50, Mr. Speaker, where we have not succeeded in giving fair hearing to the to Deputy President, Mr. Speaker. The reading of Article 145, and I want to bring to the attention, 4, does not specify the timeline on which the Deputy President removal can be listened. It is only by the special committee that it provides for 10 days. So, Mr. Speaker, that was very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, in the principle that justice should not only be done, but to be seen to be done, Mr. Speaker. Many Kenyans are asking questions, Mr. Speaker, what really happened? Number 3, Mr. Speaker, in observation, we didn't even allow state officers, a full-time governor, Mr. Speaker, to participate. This matter was decided in Constitutional Petition 204 of 2019, where state officers were barred by Justice Eric Ogola, Mr. Speaker. When you look at the issues, Mr. Speaker, because of limitation of time, on various grounds, like, for example, on the grounds for renovation of the office of the Deputy President, the funds were appropriated by the National Assembly. Yet the same National Assembly is accusing the Deputy President, who is not even an accountant. The accountant is different person, Mr. Speaker. Or even on the KEMSA issue on the bully, in the grounds that they have been set, Mr. Speaker, they are saying that the Deputy President bullied KEMSA, Mr. Speaker, but there is no proof that that tender was awarded to the specified companies that were provided, Mr. Speaker. On even the aspect of devolution, the chairperson of intergovernmental IBEC is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. It is unfortunate that we are coming to circumvent the same law and accuse the Deputy President of undermining devolution, Mr. Speaker. Even on Kambini Vipingo road, Mr. Speaker, no one adduced the evidence that this road is either public or private, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the aspect, even on unexplained wealth, Mr. Speaker, you saw the mover did not give us a wealth declaration form from EACC to show us unexplained wealth of Deputy President, 5.2 billion, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, the grounds that have been adduced before the House stands on the quicksand, Mr. Speaker. And if you realize, on the 11 grounds, the mover was on a fishing expedition, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I don't know, because they say, Mr. Speaker, even when you read, I know impeachment proceedings either political, because it is impeachable, because they are neither high crimes, criminal, but based on the test of probabilities, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and therefore, even when you look at many other aspects, Mr. Speaker, I want to challenge members, even as we go and vote, Mr. Speaker. If you see, as Francis Mboga, the play that was written in 1976, Mr. Speaker, they say, Mr. Speaker, if the madness of the nation disturbs a solitary mind, Mr. Speaker, it is not enough to say that man is mad, Mr. Speaker. Where we are at crossroads as a country, Mr. Speaker, whatever the outcome today, this country must move on, Mr. Speaker. We must proceed, Mr. Speaker. I know after today, the decision that we'll make today is not about the Deputy President. It's about the justice to Deputy President, justice to the people of Kenya, justice to each and every Kenyan who voted for the Deputy President, Mr. Speaker. And I want to finish by reading the book of Zechariah, chapter 8, verse 16, Mr. Speaker. I am preaching today, Mr. Speaker. And may it get to the souls, Mr. Speaker. Amen. Zechariah, Mr. Speaker, 8, verses 16. And even Glenn Washington, Mr. Speaker, and Morgan Heritage in Reggae, they say a man is not guilty until it is accused of being. Mr. Speaker, in Zechariah 8, verse 16, these are things that you are to do. Speak truth to each other and render true and sound judgment in courts. Senate, my colleagues, by the time you cast your vote, think about it. It is not about Regade. It is not about anybody else. It's about the Republic of Kenya. Our children, our nation, Mr. Speaker. I finish by saying...
Senator Enoch. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is a reason why my colleagues call me Bishop, others call me Pastor. Mr. Speaker, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19, from verse 18 to 19. It says that the judges shall inquire diligently, and if the witness is a false witness and has accused his brother falsely, then you, the judges, shall do to him as he had meant to do to his brother. So you shall purge the evil from your midst. Mr. Speaker, I did not know that I would be a senator in Kenya at such a time as this, being called upon to judge between the National Assembly and the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya through a motion brought here by one Honorable Mwengi Mutuse. But Mr. Speaker, here we are, and where duty calls, I will answer the call with courage and guided by a deep desire for that which is good for our nation. Mr. Speaker, I would have expected that the crumbling relationships within the Kenya Kwanza administration would perhaps have been handled within their PG or their NEC and resolved there. But because they have chosen this path, Mr. Speaker, they have made their bed, they must lie on it. Mr. Speaker, the mover of the impeachment motion must have a very dim view of the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. He comes to us with innuendos, falsehoods, sensational statements, and dropping of numbers without a shred of evidence. So, Speaker, he begins his own illustration by saying sometimes in 2023. He goes on, the Speaker, to speak about at another forum in September 2024. Mr. Speaker, we are debating an impeachment motion of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. The least that these judges would have expected, the least that this country would have expected, is due diligence on the mover of the motion. Getting every event and every date right. In fact, going down to the minute, to the second. This is a serious issue, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, because of time, I will say two things. One, let it be known to this House and to this country that those of us who subscribe to the ideals of the Azimio One Kenya Alliance are totally and grossly opposed to the idea of a government of shareholding. We don't subscribe to that idea. We believe in an all-inclusive government where every person and every region have their space in this country. But Mr. Speaker, when that matter was presented to us as an accusation, as a ground for impeachment of the Deputy President, during cross-examination and going through the evidence table before the Senate, it is clear to this House, it is clear to this country, that the idea of a government of shareholders is a foundational policy of the Kenya Kwanza administration. The signature for that policy is appended by none other than the party leader of that coalition, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Chief Cabinet Secretary, and Mr. Speaker, I would dare say Don't drag the Speaker of the Senate to this because he's not part of this. Mr. Speaker, you cannot punish the Deputy President, the principal assistant to the President, for undertaking the role of being the assistant to the President. He is just expounding on a policy that his boss assigned and made public. The Speaker, oh my goodness. The Speaker, lastly, if you allow me,
Senator Metho.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. From the onset, allow me to say that I rise to oppose the motion of the removal by way of impeachment of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. And Honorable Speaker, for the last 2 days, today and yesterday, we have been treated to a charade of allegations, accusations, which, in my opinion, have not been substantiated either by the mover of the motion, the Honorable Mwengi Mutuse, or the advocates who he came with, or the advocates that are on record for the National Assembly. And Honorable Speaker, I am actually quite surprised that one of the advocates who appeared to represent the National Assembly tells us that the Honorable Mwengi Mutuse, his was only to allege. This is not a trial. He didn't have to substantiate. He only needed to allege, and out of the allegation, then it should be carried, and we need to remove Honorable Deputy President from office. Honorable Speaker, looking at the evidence that the Honorable Mwengi Mutuse put in his motion, and the cross-examination that was here, the evidence that he brought to the House, he had 22 companies that he had listed. And when questions were running to him, what problem do you have with the company number one? I don't have a problem with it. Maybe you will have a problem in future. But the Deputy President must be removed from office. What do you have what problem do you have with company number two? I don't have a problem with it, but it might have a problem in future, and the Deputy President must be removed from office. And he kept telling us, I don't have a problem with the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one, but the Deputy President has to be removed from office. Honorable Speaker, I posed a question to the Honorable Mwengi Mutuse. He alleged that the Deputy President has a dairy farm in Nyandarua County. The fairest thing, or the least that anybody would do to such an accusation, you need to tell us where in Nyandarua is this land. At least remotely tell us what is the title number, so that even if, as the area senator, if I want to verify that indeed the Deputy President has a dairy farm in Nyandarua, there is something that I can look at. Honorable Speaker, he said, I don't know, but the Deputy President has to be removed because it is time to remove the Deputy President. On the question about Meru, where is the title number? I don't have it, but the Deputy President has to be removed from office. His wealth is 5.2 billion. Have you done a valuation? I don't have a valuation. I don't have a valuation. I don't mind. The Deputy President has to be removed from office. There is no evidence that I have in record. I don't mind. The other funnier question that we had, Honorable Speaker, is that the Deputy President has an allegation of insubordination. And the insubordination can only be sanctioned by the immediate supervisor of the Deputy President. The immediate supervisor of the Deputy President is the President. Is there any affidavit that the President has complained that there has been insubordination by his own deputy? Nothing. But the only thing that I would want to hold on to, on this particular allegation of the Deputy President having been alleged to have insubordinated his immediate supervisor. Since this motion of impeachment started, we have not had any comment from the President, either saying what has been alleged by Honorable Mwengi Mutuse is true or not true. So I want to believe that beyond the owner of the motion of the Honorable Mwengi Mutuse, the President is the bigger owner, because he has not denied that this is there has been an insubordination. And my comment would be this: this divorce that the President is looking for, you shall get it, but it will be painful, it will be hurtful, it will be catastrophic, it will have casualties. At the final vote that will be casted today, we might be the first casualties. But the casualties of today are not necessarily the casualties of tomorrow. And out of the vote that shall be taken, I'm speaking to our partners in the coalition, and the other people who are here from ODM and the other parties. This vote that you shall take today, it is not in vain that the senator for Nyandarua, it is not in vain that the senator for Kiambu, it is not in vain that the senator for Muranga, it is not in vain that the senator for Laikipia, it is not in vain that the senator for Kirinyaga, with strict instructions from the people who elected this government, have told them to come and oppose the motion that is on this floor of the House. Honorable Speaker, I'm being disrupted. The point that I wanted to make is, it is not in vain that we have been instructed not to sanction this divorce. But if it comes, we shall take it in our strides. I want to tell the people who are here, the vote that we shall cast here, we shall not put it in our minds. We shall put it in our hearts. The people of the region that I have mentioned are at their lowest. We are calling on the senators who are here. It is time to stand with us. Finally, this motion had to be processed in a haste. We had to try a man in hospital because the only crime that Reject Gachagua has committed is a political crime. So he had to be removed out of the way, whatever it will take, whether he's in hospital, whatever it will take, he has to get out of the way. That can only happen if it has the direct sanctioning of the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency William Samoei Ruto.
Senator Tom Ojenda.
Honorable Speaker, it is with a heavy heart that I stand in Senate today to comment on the motion and the 11 charges that have been preferred against the Deputy President, His Excellency Reject Gachagua. During today's session, when the advocate for the Deputy President made a presentation, I posed a question to the advocate. And the question, Mr. Speaker, sir, related to the share question which informs count one. Count one is on gross violation of Article 10.2, Article 73, Article 75, 129, 147, and 131 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is inconceivable that certain regions of this country, in view of the Deputy President, cannot and do not form part of the so-called, Mr. Speaker, sir, the shareholders in this country. To me, Mr. Speaker, sir, the shareholding question and paradigm that the Deputy President has so eloquently, for the longest time possible, stuck to since the election, is the lowest, Mr. Speaker, sir, that he has gone. It is the lowest, Mr. Speaker, sir, because this morning, the advocate was unable to respond to the shareholding percentage for Kisumu County, Siaya County, Migori and Homa Bay counties, Mombasa County, and many other counties, including West Pokot, Trans Nzoia, Mandera, Marsabit, and Vihiga counties. Mr. Speaker, sir, the shareholding question violates expressly Article 10.2b of the Constitution.
Senator Tabitha Karanja. You have 2 more minutes. It's a system flow.
Mr. Speaker, I thought that was rigging. I thought that was rigging. But Mr. Speaker, sir, may I move to just conclude, to move? Mr. Speaker, sir, the presidency of this country, and we have moved under Articles 145 to 155 of the Constitution to impeach the Honorable Deputy President. The embodiment of the role of the President at Article 131 of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, sir, the President is the embodiment of this country. He represents this country, and therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, any coalition agreements of any nature must crumble in the face of Article 131 upon election. The president and his deputy, who is his assistant, must, Mr. Speaker, sir, embrace the principles of inclusivity and Article 10 and be the face and represent all the people of this country. Submissions made by councils for the National Assembly to the effect, Mr. Speaker, sir, that any instrument, be it a political agreement deposited with the registrar, Mr. Speaker, sir, that violates this principle of necessity, Mr. Speaker, sir, are unconstitutional. And it is in the face, Mr. Speaker, sir, of this first count that I will vote in favor of the impeachment of the Deputy President. Mr. Speaker, the other counts that are set out and that relate to violation of the principles of national cohesion, Mr. Speaker, sir, have been proven by the submissions made before this House this afternoon. Violation of Article 147 and 152 of the Constitution have been proved as set out in the charges framed by the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, for the first time, let me say this, that this country must pull together in one direction. And that direction, if the President, Mr. Speaker, sir, and the Deputy cannot work together, then the interests of this nation cannot be safeguarded by allowing the Deputy President to continue being in office if his ideals are clearly in contravention or oppose the ideals that are held by the President of this country. We must support His Excellency President Ruto to run this country in a coordinated manner that Mr. Speaker, sir, brings together all the citizens of this country in a manner that coalesces all the 45.
Senator Tabitha Karanja.